moment of quality from them in the first half, but you must have been so pleased with the way you dominated the second half of the game. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm pleased with the performance overall, but we're all disappointed that we didn't get the second goal, and the fact that we conceded the first one wasn't too clever either. But I think those are the only things that I can complain about. Really, realistically, I think we were dominant from start to finish. You know, I think we had 26 shots. We had more possession. We had more shots in their penalty area. We were in control, and more so than any other game that we've had since I've been here, I think. And that is a pleasing aspect. I think some of the performances were good. I think the midfield balance was good. I thought the energy was good. I thought we moved it pretty well. I thought Sober had come onto a game, and Million as well. I think the only thing I could say that you know we can get better at is that detail on the final pass, or a movement that opens up some space where the weight of the pass is right and you can go and get a finish. Because there are times where it's so frustrating where, you know, we are a decent team, but to go to a next level, we've got to have that last little bit. I think we've been really good, and I think we can be disappointed not to have won this game and won it handsomely. But I think that there are really good signs, some really good signs. We talk about incremental, you know, improvements, but I think we've improved significantly. So that is a positive. The fact that we're playing as a team is really positive. The fact that we're moving and passing the ball as we are is really positive. It's just the final little bits that we need to improve on over time. But yeah, I think the introduction of Stephen Nzonzi, the returning Messiah, it was fantastic to hear. And then you see the qualities there, and you know he's marked tightly, but he comes out with the ball and he's got good quality, and he finds the man, in space, and he puts it in front of him so he can move. You know, those are the things that you get from players like Stephen. But like I say, all over the pitch, they can be proud of the performance. You know, I think it was good. The supporters were absolutely right behind it and trying to roar us on. You know, I've got an Apple Watch that's telling me that the decibels are too loud, and any longer it starts to make you go deaf, which is fantastic. So, yeah.
When you look at the midfield, the balance is much better now, isn't it? And Thomas Rigo looks at home. I know other people played well, Seko played well, but Rigo looks like he's found his feet very quickly.
He's a really good footballer, but then, you know, it brings other people on. And that helps because they have the first touches, good first touches in the right space. It's at the right weight. You know, it's the second sets him up for the second one, and those are the things that you expect but don't always get. And I think that, you know, more players like that we've got, the better we'll be. He's had a shot from distance as well, a little bit too straight, but again, it was another effort on goal. I think I thought Million played really well as well. He had some really decent efforts. I think the second one we have to score from. The first one we did score from. The keeper makes a save and parries it out to Sawbury, reacts first, and but I think you're right. I thought the balance in the midfield was good. I thought we moved the ball really well. It is just the last little bit, which is the bit it's where the money is.
Lastly from me, you talk about that last little bit, the final passes. Is that potentially because you've got a lot of youngsters in the team and they haven't quite got used to the scanning and the final pass? How do you improve on that?
Just got to work. They've got to work, but their game understanding gets better over time, hopefully. But I thought really there's not a great deal to criticise. There's not a great deal to be critical of. I think we can be frustrated because we want to win the game, and especially being in a dominant performance as that, to come away with a 1-1 at home can be disappointing. They've not lost away from home, including today now. But again, you know, for us, it was a good performance without getting too carried away. And you know, we're hopeful that those types of performances in the future will garner 3 points rather than the 1.
You could tell that Million was getting frustrated at times in that first half, right in front of you, but just kind of kept going at it. You
He did. He did. I mean, there's times when the rotations are good. There's times when the rotations are good and the ball is wrong. There's times when the rotation isn't quite right and the ball's wrong, and then we turn it over and then they end up getting a goal. But that wasn't necessarily from that. Boston had a touch inside and lost the ball, and there's a couple of mistakes that we made that led to them being able to get the ball and switch it the other side and get a 2v1 situation, and it ends up in the back of your net. But that was the only disappointment really for us in the first half. But in possession and the sort of connections between the players isn't too bad. You know, it's just the last. There's detail on things that we've got to keep working on. But it's not just the ability on the ball. It's the movement. It's the ability to see that. It's the timing of things. You know, it's the connection between 2 or 3 players and them seeing that. There's different things. Mick will tell you. It is those are the things that are most difficult, certainly at this level, that to get right, because there's quite a lot of things that can go wrong, but if you get that right, it's devastating for opponents. So you just keep working on things. It's worked more often than not, but again, I'm still looking for a little bit more quality at times. But I'm really happy with what I've seen.
And you said you noticed the difference from last season to now, the marked difference. Can you see this team, this group of players carrying on, getting better as you over the next few months?
I absolutely hope so. I think we've been pretty good. I think they've got the bit between the teeth. They know that they're capable of good performances at the level. But again, this is a really early stage of the season. The signs have been pretty good. There's been, we're not going to win every game, clearly, although you'd love to. It just isn't going to happen at the moment. But the fact is that everybody was crying out for improvement, and we spoke about this, and we can't get carried away. We've improved markedly. A lot, a huge amount. So I'm happy with that. You've got to be happy with that. There are teams at this level who've spent millions and millions and millions and chasing the dream, and that can be dangerous. But it can also strengthen you really quickly as well if you do that. Again, our owner, everybody knows our owner's been a magnificent backer of the club, and it's no different for me since I've come in. Everything that he can do, he does. Everybody's working hard to see that improvement, and I think that you can see it. So, for us, it's a really decent start to a season, and to perform as we have done today is part of that and part of the work.
No respect today. Is he injured?
It's a direct question, direct answer. Yes. Yeah.
Is he going to be out for a while?
I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see. But he wasn't able to. He's got an awareness with something. But I'm going to sort of keep that up my sleeve, because I'm hoping he's going to be back pretty quick.
Tough match on Tuesday, straight up at Middlesbrough.
Did you say a tough match?
Yeah.
They're all tough matches. Every one of them. They're all tough matches. But we'll look forward to going up there and seeing if we can perform to a really high level, because we're going to have to get something from the game, because they've been flying.
Thank you.
Okay.
How were you tempted to bring Stephen on earlier? Was that a possibility?
No. I'm tempted to play him from the start if he's ready, but he's not played a minute of football since he left Sepang. He's been injured for a while, and we had a conversation about trying to get him in. He's a top player. He's been a top player all his career. So, it'd be stupid not to be trying to get him in. And yesterday we had a conversation that meant that he was going to be on the bench and take some part. But I've got to be careful with him. I can't just throw him in and expect him to be ready to go. But the fact that he came on when he did, and lasted the 10 minutes or so that he was on the pitch was a good start for us. He's got undoubted quality, hasn't he? So.
How long do you think it might be before he plays significant minutes then?
How long's a piece of string? I've no idea. He's 36 years of age. You know, we've got to be careful with him, but also got to make sure that he's ready to go. But at the moment, he's not. That's the first minutes he's played since he left his former club.
As you said, a noise when he came on, and the fans were singing before he came on, so that's going to help, I'm sure.
Yeah, but that doesn't correlate with the fact that he gets more minutes just because the crowd are singing.
No.
You know, because they'll sing something else if he's not quite ready and in short order as well. So we've got to do things right. All right. Okay. Cheers. Thank you.